Hi, I'm Sweetie Abochi, serving you the AM News now. A Parliamentary Select Committee on Health has visited the Tamale Teaching Hospital to gather first-hand information on the facility's challenges. The committee is touring health facilities across several regions, including the Upper East, Northeast, Northern, and soon the Upper West region. They met with hospital management and also the striking doctors to address the ongoing impasse.
It was a great forum, a moment when health workers at the Tamale Teaching Hospital engaged the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health in a candid discussion about the frustrations and challenges they face due to the lack of basic logistics at the health facility. Doctor after doctor lay bare the challenges they have had to grapple with each day. They said even though they are competent, these challenges lead to deaths that could have been avoided.
In just 3 months that the MRI put down, they will fix it, they will put helium in, and they will be back to work. Up to date, 2025, MRI has not been working. The number of cases that would have benefited so much from an MRI is not a luxury. MRI is no more a luxury. They are meant for critical cases. We can't do them. We will not be able to diagnose hyperacute strokes. And so they will become full-blown. They will live with a disability. We are not able to do cases for pediatric patients because MRI is not available. So we put them under ionizing radiation, waiting for 20 years when they are about 20, 25 years old to live with cancers. Is that what we are looking for? No. The narrative must change, not only about local for TTH. The whole narrative must change. We cannot be going from here to Sunyani and Kumasi just for a mammogram. Mammogram has never worked ever since I've been back as a specialist. I'm talking of 2017 to date.
Even though we don't have people with these cases, and it's a time-sensitive intervention. Okay, so unfortunately, we have to use outdated ways of treating these people. We call something thrombolysis. Okay, when we do this, the outcomes are not good. So then we are going to have patients who come back with heart failure and a whole lot of complications as a result of that. And we actually have a cardiologist in this hospital who is trained to do interventions. He did this in China for a year, but since coming back to this facility, he's not able to put into practice these skills. And I think that this is something that we need to look at. We had a staff, a young person in his early 40s who had a heart attack, and we could not do this intervention, which is life-saving. So unfortunately, we had to offer him inferior therapy. But thanks be to God, it was timely enough and his heart is doing well. But I think that this is not fitting, in this modern day.
Members of the committee made some remarks, suggestions, and also critique when it was necessary.
I think that what you are doing is marvelous. We want to commend you for all the good work you're doing. It's been my catchphrase since yesterday that service in this part of our world is mostly a sacrifice. And I can see that in you, that you have been bearing yourself out to be able to serve the people. And the greatest demotivation is for the staff to prepare, have the skill, get ready to come and work and get to the facility and know able to deliver because it doesn't have logistics or some equipment. And where's of it to talk about water?
The health committee wants you to understand that we want resource allocation to the health sector to increase. The Abuja Declaration says that we need to do about 15% of our budget. Currently, we are doing about 9%. And we are saying that yes, government can assist, but our IGF can also contribute to increase that revenue allocation. Recently, during budget hearing, I don't know whether TTH, when it got to their turn, that issue came up. But we said that your budget had been reduced. And when we investigated, we realized that the IGF that you submitted had been reduced.
The committee had earlier met the management of the TTH and the doctors to try to resolve the impasse currently ongoing at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. For Joy News, Martina Bugri reporting.
The chiefs and people of Befi traditional area in the Koforidua District of the Volta region have appealed for the Community Health Planning Service compound to be equipped with a laboratory. They believe this will enhance the investigation of health conditions to warrant appropriate diagnosis and treatment and improve healthcare delivery. Fred Kwame has more in this report.
Following calls from the people of Befi in the Koforidua municipality for better health services, the government constructed a CHIPS compound and a maternity unit. Though this had improved access to health in the predominant farming community, the residents believe equipping the facility with a lab would enhance diagnosis and treatment. Genevieve Akoli is a midwife at the CHIPS compound.
It's making us lose a lot of clients. And then we also don't have a scan center for our pregnant mothers. So when we refer them, that when they go, they end up going there. Because if they will come to us and we will now refer them, so we are losing clients in that regard, and the lab and the scan too.
The paramount chief of Befi, Togbega Akim the 8th, appealed for an immediate intervention.
Lab lab technician mele fio doctor reke mele akpo serious cases o bonamio ta mele mopo bo jirudu akpere mian aba to lab Ministry of Health aba to lab technician ava doctor ava temi makanto no pando plate foyi na nyafe la mesenya ogbopo.
Nonetheless, elites of the community have taken an initiative to ensure a healthy community by instituting an annual health screening exercise. It seeks to help beneficiaries know their health status and provide the necessary guidelines to seek treatment. The PRO for the Befi Paramount Chief, Richard Katapu, shed more light on the initiative.
To educate the people against certain diseases, especially malaria, and that is the most prevalent disease in the area. And in fact, the doctors are even doing some referrals so that people who have certain cases that cannot be fully treated here are referred to the bigger health facilities for them to be taken care of.
The community stressed the need for the government to complement the initiative by providing a lab for the CHIPS compound. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Befi.
The University for Development Studies, Tamale, is set to host Her Majesty Queen Nozizwe Pelelea, the Managing Director of Etwadni Bank and esteemed consort of His Majesty King Misuzulu Kaswetilini of the Zulu Nation, South Africa, for the 7th edition of its prestigious Africa Leadership Lecture Series.
Her Majesty will speak on the theme Ethical and Transformative Leadership for Sustainable Development, addressing a continent in search of new leadership paradigm. Her highly anticipated lecture titled Redefining Leadership for Africa's Future, Ethics and Transformation is scheduled to take off at the university. Addressing a press conference held ahead of the main event, Queen Nozizwe Pelelea elaborated on the purpose of her visit, shared insight on the theme of the upcoming lecture, and spoke about Africa's developmental trajectory amidst global complexities. She emphasized the urgent need for visionary leadership anchored in ethics, inclusivity, and long-term transformation.
Education for me came first and foremost, and I thought there is no way I cannot support the institution. And then secondly, the young people. Our young people are our future, but sometimes they do seem a bit lost. And so what came to mind was we need to support and help give direction where we can, particularly in issues that are being discussed in these leadership lectures, in this lecture series. So that was why, again, I thought it would be good to be part of this. Then lastly, what is close to my heart, leadership, good leadership. We have to do a lot of work as people of Africa, as people of Ghana, as people in our different institutions of life, to ensure that we have good leadership in those different institutions. Again, I'm a strong advocate for that. I speak a lot on ethical leadership, transformative leadership, because that is where, again, the success of our countries and of our continent in particular.
The Vice Chancellor of the UDS, Professor Seydou Alhassan, highlighted the origin of the African Lecture Series, noting that the concept is aimed at promoting high-level intellectual engagement and showing exemplary African leadership.
The idea of African Leadership Lecture Series was conceived in 2011, but was practicalized or operationalized in 2013, when we had the first lecture that was done by a former president of the Republic of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo. He graced it, the first one. So afterwards, we have had 5 other people, former presidents, and they have all delivered speeches, cutting across thematic areas of African governance, leadership, African unity, sustainable development, and
nominees of President Mahama have been confirmed in the Upper West region, bringing the total to 9. The confirmations in Nandom, Laura, Sisala West, Dafiama Buzie Isa and Lambwisi leave 2 districts yet to confirm their nominees. Joy News' Rafiq Salam reports from Bolu.
After successful confirmation of 4 municipal and district chief executive nominees and rejection of 1 last week, the prayer and hope of the Upper West Regional Minister, Lawyer Charles Wong Opozun, and the Upper West Regional Chairman of the NDC, Abdul Nasser Sani Bunas, is that they should be able to go one step further this week by confirming all 5 nominees of the president.
Luckily for us, Drapa had 82%. The MC here, Drapa, can you be standing? He had 82%. Sisala East, Ademu, Honor Ademu had 96.7%. Then one municipal, he had 100%. So we believe that by close of day, Sisala West will also do 100% to challenge one municipal.
Lady Luck first smile on them at Nandom Municipal, Sisala West, and Lamuse District. All the MDAs gave 100% endorsement to the nominees. The newly confirmed Municipal Chief Executive for Nandom, Anton Ziniel, expressed gratitude to the Assembly members for the 100% endorsement. He urged the staff of the Assembly not to sabotage the government reset agenda, but to work together as a team.
We must work together as a team to promote the reset agenda by the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. That is the only agenda now. I will communicate the agenda of the government to you, and it will be our collective duty to implement it. Your political affiliation will not matter in this reset agenda. You will do as the government requires, and you will not do anything to sabotage the research agenda of John Dramani Mahama government.
In the Sesala West District, all the 30 members of the Assembly voted yes for the nominee Abu Hussein Bene. The situation was not different in the Lamuse District, as Nawul Irenius Basimbi had an overwhelming endorsement of the Assembly. Though the present nominees for the Lora Municipal and the Dafima Buri Isa District failed to secure 100% endorsement, they were confirmed with over 80% yes votes. MC-elect for Lora, Alaji Adams Noizu assured members of the Assembly that the confidence they reposed in him will not be in vain.
I respect each of you and will continue to respect the views and opinions that you will express during our working relationship. We have the same vision and mission, and it is to serve our people. So I am fully with you. Let us work together to improve the living condition of the people of Lora.
A similar outcome was recorded in the Dafima Bure Isa District, where James War polled 21 votes, representing 85%, with 3 votes against, representing 14.2%. Reporting for Dwayne News, Rafik Salam, Bolu.
In other stories, a women's group in Nadoli Kalio District, the Dagibele Women's Group, is appealing to Assembly members to unanimously confirm Mary Haruna as DCE. They cite her commitments to women's empowerment and grassroots development. Mary Haruna is the only female among the 11 MDC nominees by President John Dramani Mahama. Rafik Salam again.
The nomination of Mary Haruna by President John Dramani Mahama as District Chief Executive for Nadoli Kalio has sparked strong concerns, including press conference and counter-press conference against and acceptance of a nomination. However, the Dagibele Women's Group, based in Kalio, in a press conference, overwhelmingly endorsed her nomination. The group commended President John Dramani Mahama for the nomination and described Mary Haruna as a symbol of transformation for women and youth in the district. Turo Emilia is the convener of the group.
We wish to express our deepest appreciation and commendation to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, for nominating Madam Haruna, Mary Haruna, as the District Chief Executive for the Nadol Kalio District, as she is confirmed. Madam Mary Haruna, the current Nadol Kalio constituency women's organizer, is not just a leader by title by one who has demonstrated true commitment to the development of women, youth, and the entire constituency.
The women, numbering over 200, say their group was born out of Mary Haruna's initiative and vision. They added that her efforts have gone beyond politics, touching lives through mentorship and empowerment.
She has, over the years, organized training programs for his in soap making, homemade production, and basic small-scale business management, giving us the skills and confidence to earn a living and support of our families. Her impact goes beyond politics. She is mentor, a teacher, and a symbol of possibility for rural women and youth.
As a result of that, they are urging members of the Nadoli Kalio District Assembly not to waver in the discharge of their duty in confirming her appointment, describing it as a vote for inclusive leadership and development.
We therefore appeal to the Honorable Assembly members of the Nadoli Kalio District Assembly to unanimously confirm Madam Mary Haruna, the next DCE. Confirming her is not just a show of loyalty to the NDC's vision. It is a clear demonstration of your commitment to local development and inclusive leadership and empowerment of rural communities. This is our moment as a district to move forward, and we believe Madam Mary Haruna is the right person to lead that charge.
The final decision now lies with the Assembly members of the Nadoli Kalio District as residents, particularly women and the youth, work closely in hopes of a new era of development and inclusive governance. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam, KLU.
That's twice now. You were all expecting Rafiq Salam to say wow. And that takes us into the business update now with Benjamin Akakbu.
Let's get into the stories now. And the Ghana cedi has depreciated by about 4% to the US dollar so far in 2025. The World Bank's April 2025 Africa Pulse report has revealed. Now, this is one of the best performances in recent times.
In 2024, the cedi lost over 17% in value to the American greenback. In Africa, the CFA franc used by most Francophone West African countries is the best performing currency, appreciating by about 2.0% to the American dollar. According to the World Bank, the weakest performing currencies over the past year were the South Sudanese pound, the Ethiopian birr, and the Nigerian naira, with reductions in value that exceeded 40% in 2024. It continued that as financial conditions became less restrictive and the gains from foreign exchange market reforms began to materialize, some African currencies gradually started to strengthen. For instance, the Kenyan shilling appreciated 20% throughout 2024 and has remained relatively stable in 2025. On the other hand, the South African rand and currencies that are pegged to the rand have fluctuated slightly in 2024 and so far in 2025 around the values registered by the end of 2023.
Now, the Ghana Mine Workers Union says the 12-month mining lease being offered Goldfields Company Limited is too low for the company to make major investments. This follows the government's announcement of a 12-month lease to Goldfields Limited pending parliamentary approval. Now, speaking to Joy Business, General Secretary of the union, Abdul Momin Bana, called for an extensive collaboration between government and the firm on the matter to send a positive signal to investors.
Government has only indicated that they are, giving a one-year extension of the lease, and that they are going to be working with Goldfields, particularly in the treatment of the stockpiles. 1 year for a mining company, as far as we are concerned, is just too low to be able to make any major investments. If you read carefully government's release, is concerned about exploration, and indeed he believes that Goldfields should be able to put in some money into exploration. And so our expectation is that some further talks, some further conversations should result in a much longer period of time that will enable Goldfields to be able to inject the needed capital, whether it's in the area of exploration or whether it's in the area of business process re-engineering to bring the mine back to a very comfortable level. So our expectations would be that government would have some further talks, because 1 year, in my view, will not allow any serious investor to raise money and, for that matter, commit money only for that investor to withdraw after a year and hand it over to a Ghanaian interest. So there's a need for much bigger and more serious talks between the two sides.